Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. Today we will continue with the previous discussion of inverse Z transforms. We have already seen what are the different methods to go for inverse Z transforms. That is, what is inverse Z transform? It is getting the original sequence x of n from the given x of z. So this is inverse Z transforms. We have seen in the previous class that we have two methods. One is partial fraction expansion method. The other one is power series expansion method. We have started with the partial fraction expansion method, and we have already solved two problems based on that. So let us continue the same method. We will try to solve a few more problems on partial fraction, variety of problems. So let us start with the today's problem. This is the given question. We need to find x of n. Okay, the sequence x of n when x of z is given to you. The question, if you see, it looks bit bigger. Okay, we have three sub questions there. The question looks bit bigger, but however, if you see, if you apply the partial fractions, only based on the ROC, you need to decide the sequence x of n. The question looks bit bigger. We have three sub bits, but however, it is very simple. Let us try solving it. So we will start with given x of n. Very first thing is we need to observe the numerator and the denominator power. And as the numerator power is 1, denominator power, if there are two factors there, two brackets, if you expand it, you will get the power z raised to minus 2. So numerator power is less than the denominator. Obviously, the first condition applies out of 2, and directly we should go for partial fractions. Before going for that, denominator should be factorized. But the question has, they have made you a bit simple by directly giving you the factors. In previous two problems, some equation was given to you. You have gone for quadratic equation solution, finding the roots and getting the two factors, two brackets. But here directly two factors are given to you, so it is easier now. So what to do? We should directly go for partial fractions. So this is x of z, which is given by a by one factor plus b by one more factor. And as I have told you, these two can be exchanged. Okay, denominators, along with a you can put this, and along with b you can put this. No issues. You can change the brackets. But I have taken along with a this, along with b this. Then continuing the partial fractions, LHS should have only numerator, no denominator. For that, take this complete denominator and multiply the denominator on both LHS and RHS. If you multiply this complete two brackets on both sides, see, this is your numerator. Denominators gets cancelled, and this part is the same, a divided by multiply by, because we are multiplying on both sides, LHS and RHS. Similarly, b divided by this is the same, and multiply by the complete two factors. If we proceed further, these things will go, okay, and one bracket will go here, one more bracket will go here. Now remaining are numerator is equal to a into one bracket plus b into one more bracket. Now, as we have only single equation, it is not possible for us to find a and b directly. So what we will do, we will make any one variable 0 by substituting some values of z inverse with trial and error. So for the first case, I have made a equal to 0. How to make a 0? A has a bracket 1 minus 1 by 4 z inverse. What should be the value of z inverse to make a 0? So 1 minus 1 by 4. If I put z inverse as 4, these two gets cancelled. You will get 1 minus 1, which is 0. So substitute z inverse as 4. That's what has been done here. put Z inverse is equal to 4. Then your LHS will be 1 by 4 into 4 is equal to, this will go now. A will become 0 and B into 1 minus half into 4. Okay, if you solve it, you will get B is equal to minus 1. Similarly, this is the case with keeping A as 0, we got B. Similarly, we will make B 0 and we will find A. How to do that? If you observe, B has a bracket 1 minus half Z inverse. Now, what value of Z inverse will make B 0? If you put Z inverse as a 2, these two gets cancelled, you will get 1 minus 1. So, B into 0. So, Z inverse should be put as 2. So, if we substitute Z inverse as a 2, LHS will be 1 by 4 into 2 is equal to A into 1 minus 1 by 4 into 2, and B will become 0 anyhow. And if you solve it further, you will get A is equal to 1. So we have found A and B values. Substitute that here, which we have assumed. So x of z will be A divided by this, A is 1, plus B divided by the second bracket, B is minus 1. You can put this as minus or take minus 1 separately, no issues. Now, the next step is, till this, for all these three sub questions, till this much is common. Okay, after this the sub bits will come. We need to decide what will be our sequence x of n based on the given ROCs. Okay, now let us try to check that. What is the first bit? First bit says z, the ROC is greater than half. If you observe, here we have two brackets, out of which if you observe the denominator, it is somewhat like 1 by 1 minus alpha z inverse. Alpha is 1 by 2. Okay, alpha raised to n u of n or u of minus n minus 1. Let's see. And for second bracket, it is 1 by 4 raised to n. Something like this x of n will have. Okay, now coming to the first ROC condition, it is greater than half. So if you want to draw this on Z plane, how it looks like? We have two circles of radius half and 1 by 4. This inside is 1 by 4, outside is half, and as ROC is given as greater than half, it is outside the circle totally. Okay, so with this, so for the first one, let us see. ROC, it is outside the circle of radius half. Okay, this is the given thing. So outside the circle means we have already listed a few properties of ROC. According to those, if the ROC is lying outside the circle, it is a right-handed sequence. Right-handed means 0, infinity and minus infinity. Your signal lies here. Right-handed sequence. For a right-handed sequence, you multiply by u of n. That's why for the previous this denominators, if you observe, for both, apply 1 by 1 minus alpha z inverse, which is alpha raised to n. Multiply that alpha raised to n with u of n. Why u of n? Because the ROC says that it is a right-handed sequence. Because it is lying outside and it is a right-handed sequence, multiply both by u of n. So this is your first answer, first sequence for the first ROC condition. Now coming to the second one. What is the second bit? It is given as, question is same, x of z is same. So till what all partial fractions be applied, it will be same. Only based on the ROC, your final answer x of n will change. Now let's see how it will change. Given x of the magnitude of z, that is ROC, is less than 1 by 4. So if you want to draw it on the z plane, obviously we'll have two circles. One is inside 1 by 4, the other one is outside 1 by 2. According to the second condition, your ROC is inside this. Okay, inside means in the properties of ROCs we have listed, if it is inside the circle, then the sequence is left hand sided sequence. That's why if you observe here, half raised to n and 1 by 4 raised to n are multiplied by minus u of minus n minus 1. Here it is plus because originally it is minus. So minus into minus will become plus. Okay. So for a left-handed sequence, you should multiply it with minus u minus n minus 1. For a right-handed sequence, you should multiply it with u of n. So after, let us go to the third sub bit. The third bit of the question, where ROC is given like this. Uh, According to this, it has two parts. One is less, greater, and the other one is less. So if I draw a Z plane and mark two circles of radius 1 by 4 and 1 by 2. According to the given condition, it is like this. Concentric circle. Okay. And 1 by 4, the ROC will be greater than 1 by 4. So greater means, so if you have two parts in your x of n originally, one is 1 by 4 raised to n's part, the other one is 1 by 2 raised to n's part. So for 1 by 4 raised to n's part, for this particular part, the inside circle, so the ROC is outside. So for this particular part, it is multiplied by u of n. But according to the given ROC condition, it is less than 1 by 2. So this second part of your x of n or x of z, which has 1 by 2 raised to n, for this you should not use u of n. Instead of u of n, you should use minus u minus n minus 1. Remember? So this is one of the properties of ROCs we have already listed. According to that property, it says if ROC is like this, okay, in between, then the sequence is a two-sided sequence, okay, to concentric circle, and in between the shaded part will come. So for that, if we take the inverse Z transform, x of n will become, for 1 by 4 raised to n, multiply it with u of n, because this part shows it is greater. Greater means outside the circle. Outside the circle means right handed. So for this part, right handed sequence. However, if you observe the given condition, for half raised to n part, it is less. Less means inside the circle, left handed. So multiply the half raised to n part by minus u minus n minus 1. So this is the third bit of your question, which we have got the solution. So I hope this problem is clear to you. Let us move to the next problem. Okay, this is the problem given. We need to find the IZT. IZT is inverse Z transform. If you observe the given x of z, the very first step in solving this is we have to check the numerator and the denominator powers. Whether the powers are greater, less, or equal. If you see, both have the power 2, right? So both the powers are equal. So first condition is not valid. Out of two conditions, second condition is valid. M is greater or equal to n. So this condition is getting satisfied. Equal condition is getting satisfied. So if both are equal, we can't go for directly partial fractions. What we have to do? I'll just show you the previous slide. You will understand. You will recall it. According to the conditions, the first condition says if it is less, directly go for partial fractions. But if the second condition is getting satisfied, use long division method first. So first go for long division, then go for partial fractions. So let us see how we can do that. Okay. Further, anyhow, for we have to use partial fractions, not directly, but after using long division. So for partial fractions, denominator, whatever is given to you, it has to be factorized. So what I have done before going for long division and solving, first I have factorized the denominator and I have got the two factors. This I have done it. Anyhow, afterwards also you can do it. So if you do that, let's start solving. Very first thing is both numerator and denominator powers are equal. Okay, this is the first observation. So we have to go for long division and then partial fractions. Then take the denominator. You use the a quadratic equation solution and you find the factors. How to do that? Take the LCM and replace Z inverse by A or X or M, whatever, whichever you feel convenient. Okay, I have taken A. So taking the LCM, 2 minus 3A plus A square. I have just rearranged it and put in, I have kept it in high to low order, a square, a and a raised to 0. Okay, then if you see, it is a square minus 3a plus 2. So if you multiply, you should get 2. If you add, you should get minus 3. So 2 into 1, I guess. 2 ones are 2. So minus, is it right? If you add, you should get minus 3. So minus 2 and minus 1. I think these are the two factors we can get. So 2 ones are 2, and if you add minus 2 and minus 1, you will get minus 3. Fine. So if I do that, I've written it here. Then take a common in the first two terms. In the first two terms, take a common. You will get a minus 2 left out. Then in the second, in the second two terms, next two terms, take minus 1 common. You left with a minus 2. So these are the two brackets, and as we know, try to put it in 1 minus form. Okay, but if you observe it here, it has 2. So take 2 common in the first bracket. You will get a by 2 minus 1 and a minus 1 divided by 2. 2 gets cancelled and you will be left with a minus 1 as one bracket and a by 2 minus 1 as the one more bracket. And put before substituting a as z inverse back, what I'll do, I'll just take minus common in the first bracket. You'll be left with 1 minus a. And in the second bracket, again take minus common, 1 minus a by 2. So these minus into minus will become plus. And now substitute a as z inverse. That's what are the two brackets. So I have factorized the denominator. I have got two brackets, two factors. Now we'll go for long division. Okay. For long division, if you observe, the question is, this is the denominator part. Denominator part is this. This is your numerator. How you go for division? See, if it is x by y, it means that you are dividing it like this. Okay, this I think you're studying this kind of division since from your primary schoolings. So x by y, you can write it like this. The same way I have written it here for ease. See here, observe. This is your numerator, this is your denominator. Okay, dividing, we are dividing it. And one observation you can make is, the given question is like this. In the given question, it is of order lower to high. First is constant, then z inverse, then z raised to minus 2. It is increasing like this. Okay, but if you see how I have written, the higher order has been written first, then lesser, then lesser. Similarly, higher order first, then less, then less. So remember this, when you're going for long division, before going for partial fractions, don't get confused, because in further next methods, again this kind of division we will be doing, there some conditions will come. Okay, let us not bother about that now. Here, remember, when we are going for partial fractions before long division, reverse your whatever given thing. Okay, the sequence originally is given like this: one is first and this is the last. Here also one is first and z inverse is the last. Z raised to minus 2 is the last. But reverse the order, put the higher orders first, then the lower, then the lower. So rearrange your order and put it in this division form. Then see here, this is half z inverse and here it is z inverse. Okay, half z inverse is your LHS. Okay, let me write it clearly. Half z raised to minus 2, this part is your LHS, into some value is equal to z raised to minus 2, this first value. Now what should be this? What value of this will make this as z raised to minus 2? That is the question. Okay, half z raised to minus 2 into just we will make trial and error. Okay, if I make equal to 1, what will happen? We will be left with the same. We don't want that. We want z raised to minus 2. So this first is not valid. Then I'll go for 2. If I do this, see, 2 gets cancelled. I will get z raised to minus 2, which is the required thing, right? Here we want z raised to minus 2. What we have? We have half z inverse. So half z inverse into what value will be equal to z raised to minus 2. So if you multiply half z inverse z raised to minus 2 by 2, you will get z raised to minus 2. So that will be written here, right? What you call it? Quotient. So this is the quotient value. So what you do, you multiply 2 with all these 3 values. Okay, the equation has 3 terms. So you multiply 2 by all these 3 terms. What you will get? First value is half z inverse z raised to minus 2 into 2 will be equal to z raised to minus 2. That I have written here. Okay. Then second term is minus 3 by 2 z raised to minus 1 into 2. What you will get? 2 gets cancelled. Minus 3 z raised to minus 1 you will get. That is what is written here. Then plus the third term is 2 plus 2. So I hope you have now you got to know why it is 2, because if I multiply this with this power gets cancelled. Now the question is, why we want to cancel out z raised to minus 2? Because numerator power has z raised to minus 2, denominator is also having z raised to minus 2. So both the powers are same. If we cancel that power z raised to minus 2, the next power that comes to the numerator is z raised to minus 1 only. Then the powers will become unequal. So the first condition will get satisfied. Numerator power is less than the denominator. Then we can go for partial fractions. Just to make this uneven, numerator power less than the denominator, we are going for this long division method. Okay, I hope you understood this. So if we multiply this, we will get this. Now subtract both, change the signs, minus, plus and minus. First 2 gets cancelled. Then 2 plus 3 will be 5z inverse. Then 1 minus 2 will become minus 1. So this is your remainder value. This is your quotient value. If I divide denominator and numerator, I will get 2 as the quotient, 5z inverse minus 1 as the what? Remainder. So now the important thing comes. Whatever your given question is there, that how to write? Write the quotient first. 2. Whatever quotient value you get, you write that first. Plus whatever remainder comes, write that divided by, just now you have factorized the denominator, 2 factors are there, write those 2 factors. So this is how we will write the x of z after applying the long division. what we did here, it is something like this. Okay, if I have 5 by 2, what I will do, I will put like this. I will split this 5 like this. So 2 plus 3 divided by 2, which is equal to 5 by 2. So whatever numerator was there, I have divided it like this, splitting. Okay, so remember, when we go for long division, we will get quotient and the remainder. How to write your x of z? Write the quotient value plus remainder at the numerator, denominator as it is in factors form. Anyways, those factors we require for partial fractions, so we have already calculated that. So after this, what we will do, we will keep this 2 as it is. We will not touch it. We will apply partial fractions only to this part. Okay, don't go for partial fraction application here because you don't have any denominator term and no need to split. Okay, but because of this, 2, don't touch this. You apply partial fractions only to this second half. That's why I have taken only the second half here. Apply the partial fractions. 2 factors are there, a divided by that plus b divided by. Then we need only numerator part. So multiply these two. Okay, multiply these two brackets on both LHS and RHS. If I multiply, these two gets cancelled. Here also one bracket cancel, one more bracket cancels here. You can see it is getting cancelled. Then after this, numerator is 5z inverse minus 1, then a into and b into. Then go for trial and error application, substitution of z inverse. One time I have done z inverse as 1, I have got b as 8. And the next time I have taken z inverse as 2, I have got a as minus 9. You can do this. It's a simple mathematics, substitution and simplification. After getting a and b, what is the next step is, so we have got a and b. So substituting a and b, minus 9 divided by and plus 8 divided by. Then finally your x of z is what? 2 plus that. That's why x of z will be 2 plus that partial fractions, right? So complete x of z will be 2 plus one bracket plus the other bracket. So 3 terms totally. After this, the final thing is we need to go for finding the inverse z transform x of n. For that, let us see any ROC is given to you in the question. Yes, it is given here. ROC is greater than 1. So if I use that, ROC greater than 1, ROC is greater than 1. What do you mean by ROC greater than 1? ROC, it indicates that your ROC is outside the circle. Outside the circle means right-handed sequence. So for a right-handed sequence, you multiply by u of n. So with that, what will be your x of n? I'll just brief here. 2. If you remember, when we had solved initially the finding of x of z for some sequences u of n, alpha raised to n, like that, for delta of n also we have solved how to find the x of z. For that case, delta of n is equal to, I think that was the homework given to you all. So then I had solved it in the class. Delta of n is equal to 1 is your x of z, 1. And ROC is, I think, the entire z plane except z is equal to infinity, something like that. Okay. So if it is a 2, how I can write 2? 2 into delta of n, because delta of n is equal to 1. Okay, first term. Plus second term, keep minus 9 as it is. What is the remaining term? 1 by 1 minus alpha z inverse. Alpha is 1 by 2. And since it is ROC is greater, multiplied by u of n because it is a right-handed sequence. Plus 8 into, the next is 1 by 1 minus z inverse, which is nothing but your u of n. So these are the three things, three terms which are there in your x of n. That's what is written here. If you see, that's what we have found out. Finally, x of n is equal to 3 terms. So I hope this problem is also clear to you. We will solve one more problem. It is again simple. Same thing. We need to go for partial fractions. We will see that problem also. This is the given question. We need to find x of n. If you observe, till now what all x of z were there, they were all z inverse powers, right? But here, if you see the question, it is z square, positive powers are there. But we are much familiar with negative powers. What we will do? We will try to get this equation in negative powers form, because it will be easy for us to calculate. But because one more reason is there for that. If you see, it is looking like both numerator and denominator powers are equal. So long division and all we have to apply. So rather than going directly to that, can we try making it unequal by something? Let's see. Okay. Take z raised to 2 common in both numerator and denominator. If I take z raised to 2 common in numerator, what will happen? Z raised to 2 common, you are left with 1 minus 3. Z square is common, there is only z term here. So it will be 1 by z, right? If you multiply these two, check z square by z, you will get z back. That's what is the numerator. So it is 1 minus 3 divided by z. And what will be your denominator? If you take z square common, 1 plus 3 by 2, z square is common, here only z is there, so it will be 1 by z minus, and you don't have any z term here, so it is 1 by z square. If you want to get the original signal back, you try multiplying z square with all the three. You will get this original equation back. If you want your, this is your equation, right? Z square, if you take common. If you want this equation back, you try multiplying z square to all these three terms. You will get this. So now if I take z square common and these two gets cancelled, now see numerator and denominator powers, they have become unequal. With the original positive powers of z, they were looking like they are equal. So long division and then partial fractions was the thought of mine. But however, if I take z square common and try to put your equations in the form of z inverse type, negative powers, now I can observe that the powers have become unequal. Numerator power is less, denominator power is more. So directly go for partial fractions. This is much easier. So for partial fractions, again, what to do? Denominator should be factorized. So to get the factors, either you can use your calculators or use this manual method. What I have done, taking the LCM and then replacing Z inverse by some familiar term, A, X, M, whatever. I have taken A. Now taking the LCM and putting it in higher to lower order. So it is minus 2A square plus 3A plus 2, right? So if I multiply, I should get minus 4. 2 into 2, minus 4. If I add, I should get plus 3. So I think plus 3, I have 4 into 4, 4 into 1. I guess minus 4 plus 1. With, I should get plus, right? So this should be plus, this should be minus. Plus 4 and minus 1. 4 ones are 4, that too negative. Plus 4 into minus 1 will become minus 4. And if I add plus 4 minus 1, you will get plus 3. So I think these two are the values, plus 4 and minus 1. Plus 4 and minus 1, split it. And in the first two terms, take 2a common. And then the next two terms, take plus 1 common. And if you further simplify, you will get denominator 2 factors like this. Okay. Anyhow, I'm sharing these slides with you. These slides, please, you can manually try on paper and try to get these values, whether I am correct or anywhere I have gone wrong. Okay. Now with these two factors, we will go for partial fractions. How to solve it? So this is your x of z, which is given by, according to the partial fractions, a divided by one factor plus b divided by one more factor. If I have one more factor, then it will become c divided by that factor. Okay. Then simply LHS should have only numerator. So just to remove this denominator, we will multiply this complete denominator term on both sides, LHS and RHS. Then the LHS will be only numerator power. Then this complete, one bracket gets cancelled. So you will be left with 1 minus 3z inverse equal to a into 1 bracket plus b into one more bracket. Now again go for, as we have only one equation, we can't find a and b together. So you make one value 0 so that you can calculate the other. So trial and error, put one time z inverse as minus half. You will get 1 minus 3 into minus half is equal to a into 1 minus half into minus half, and b into this will become 0. So what you will get, a as a is equal to 2. So this is the one value. Then if I check, if I substitute z inverse as a 2, for 2, a will become 0 and you will get b as minus 1. So if I substitute a and b in your x of z, this is your a is equal to 2, b as minus 1. Now, according to the ROC condition given, you should decide what will be your x of n. So to get that ROC, observe we have two terms. So one is this, you keep this 2 as it is. The other one will be 1 by 1 minus alpha z inverse. How you will write 1 plus 2z inverse? You can write it like this. 1 by 1 plus 2z inverse. You can write it as 1 by 1 minus 2z inverse. This minus into minus will become plus. Okay. So for this bracket, it is 2 into minus 2 raised to n into, let's see what is that u of n or u of minus n minus 1, we will decide. This is one term. In between we have plus. Okay. We will decide here, okay, what we will get. Plus second term is minus 1 into this, minus 1 into second term is 1 by 1 minus alpha z inverse. Alpha is half raised to n. Now let's see whether it is u of n or u of minus n minus 1. According to the given ROC, ROC is greater than half. So we have two terms here. Greater than half means this term. So this should be u of n. And it should be less than 2. Less means the second term. So it should be minus u minus n minus 1, because greater means outside the circle, sequence is a right-handed sequence. Less means inside the circle, sequence is your left-handed sequence. So I hope with this we will get, just check it, x of n will become, this is positive side because of this greater, this is your negative side because of lesser. So this is how we go for partial fraction and finding the input sequence x of n. So I hope you have understood today's class. Some 3 to 4 problems we have solved today. We have solved variety of problems wherein in the first case long division method we applied. Then we checked for 3 different ROCs, lesser, greater and concentric circle. Then in this problem, both numerator and denominator positive powers were there, and they were looking like we should go for long division, but if what we did, we took z square as common, then numerator and denominator power became unequal. So directly we went for partial fractions. Remember here, very important, these mathematics basics should be good. Applying partial fractions, how to calculate partial fractions, then um, how to find the roots of the equation. If you don't have that basics, please practice those. Okay, they are very important. No doubt you don't have examinations, but however, for knowledge purpose, you should try these problems. Okay, so today's class we have completed these problems. Remember, um, in the first part of the this Z transforms, we have solved few problems, and at the end, the last slide I have shared some list. Okay, list of what the sequence x of n and the x of z and the ROC. You can just go through. I have already shared that in your WhatsApp group. Here it is x of n given, here it is x of z, and what is the ROC. For example, first one was delta of n, x of z is given by 1, and ROC is, I think, complete z plane. And then u of n, then alpha raised to n, like that, some list I have given. Please go through that list. That is very important, okay? For inverse z transform especially, when these brackets and all are given, directly we can get the inverse z transforms from that table. So I hope you have understood today's class. In the next class, we will continue with few more problems, and we will go for the next variety of inverse Z transform problems. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.